Hello, here with my monthly look at the previews catalog from Diamond Distribution, one of the now 3 main distributors to the direct market, but still the kind of the best place to look at everything in one spot for now. So this is for the February previews 2024, and I'll go ahead and get started. For DC, I didn't see anything of interest. Marvel, not much either, but I thought I would go ahead and mention these 2 omnibuses. The Invincible Iron Man Volume 2, The Invincible Iron Man Volume 3. 2 is a new printing, 3 is a brand new book. You know, you're very quickly from here getting out of the Prime stuff, and then getting into the, post Kirby age. So it becomes less and less interesting to someone like me, but I thought I would mention them. I do not like the omnibus format, but sometimes it is the best way to get a hold of a bunch of these classic Marvel and DC stories, if you are so inclined. Getting into the catalog itself, from Boom, The Sons of El Topo Omnibus, written by Alejandro Jodorowsky, a writer that I don't particularly care for, but the art is by Ladron, who is a phenomenal artist. This isn't the sort of thing I'll pick up probably, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Jodorowsky has his admirers, of course, has quite a few comics available, usually with wonderful artists, and this one is no exception. Jumping way forward into the Image section. Speaking of omnibuses, Astro City Opus Edition, Volume 1. So this is $150. 1,168 pages, and this was resolicited. It was in a previous, looks like it was in the October 2023 previews. Anyway, it's massive. I don't know if it has, this here says it has the first 9 years, so it doesn't have everything, but it has a lot of shit, obviously. Anyway, I think Astro City is a fun series. I enjoy it. I would not buy this book personally, but especially since they've been putting out Metro books, which contain big chunks of material in fat paperbacks. That seems like a more economical way to pick up the series, but people's level of fandom varies. The Enfield Gang Massacre, also from Image, written by Chris Condon. Art is by Jacob Phillips, the son of Sean Phillips. I'm not sure if this is a spin-off. It is. It tells the dark origin of That Texas Bloods. So That Texas Blood is the Image series by these same guys. I've read the first trade and thought it was fine. So don't know if I'll go for this one or not, but thought it was worth mentioning. Quest Volume 1, written by Jonathan Luna and Crystal Wood. Art by Jonathan Luna. This is also resolicited from another previews, in fact, just last month, so I'm not really sure what happened there, why it got pushed back 1 month, but anyway, I greatly enjoyed the Luna Brothers collaborations together years ago, and I've kind of kept track of both brothers as they've gone their own directions, and so I will probably pick this one up. From Titan Books, the Michael Moorcock Library, The Making of a Sorcerer. The reason I'm mentioning this is because the art is by Walter Simonson. Not sure how much of this stuff has ever appeared before. I know there was a collection of this stuff published by DC of Walt Simonson material, but not sure how much crossover there is. These Elric books, all the Moorcock Library books, are pretty handsome hardcovers. I don't think I've picked any of them up. But yeah. Obviously, Moorcock has his fans, and Walt Simonson certainly has his fans in the world of comics, which is why I'm mentioning it. From Ablaze, The Library Mule of Cordoba. The writer is Wilfred Lupano, who, if I'm not mistaken, had a couple of graphic novels, The Old Geezers. The artist is Leonard Shimano. Apologies to that person. Anyway, just thought I'd mention it. Looks like it's a, nice fantasy hardcover comic from Ablaze. They've published some pretty interesting things. Definitely not batting 1,000 or anything, but they have published some stuff of real interest. So thought I would mention it. And I haven't read anything by Lupano personally, but I've heard good things. From Dark Horse, Den, Volume 4, Dreams and Alarums. Another hardcover, only 88 pages. It's pretty slim. These are lovingly produced, though. They're really beautiful books. So I can't complain about the quality of the object itself, but it's, the pricing is a little tough. But still, if you like Corben, I would consider them probably a must-buy. If you don't, then easy to pass. Also thought I'd mention here Grendel Omnibus Volume 6. Obviously, there's a lot of Grendel fans out there. I'm mostly mentioning it because I had no idea there was this much Grendel material, to be honest. So this is Volume 6, and this is 432 pages. So that's a hell of a lot of Grendel pages all put together. So no idea how much any of this ties in with the original Matt Wagner stuff, but like I said, there's a lot of Grendel fans out there. I thought I'd mention it. From Oni, In Perpetuity by Peter Hoey, Hoey. I'm familiar with his work with his sister, Maria, who I notice is also on the cover here, and they've left her off of the main listing, which seems kind of fucked up. Anyway, they make pretty interesting work. Thought it was worth pointing out. Oni is a publisher that I never have much interest in, but occasionally they put out something that I think is worth looking at, worth taking a shot on. Here's something that will have a very limited audience. Cerebus in Hell presents Akimbo one-shot. As you can probably tell from here, it has the Akira trade dress from the old Marvel Epic editions, and then there's some sort of anime girl there. So what makes this interesting to some people is that it is Dave Sim's first complete issue solo illustrated work since Glamour Puss in 2012. That's 12 years ago. And this is a 24-page comic. I'm sure it will be cringeworthy to the extreme, but I am morbidly curious. That is for sure. From the British publisher DC Thomson, who has, as of late, decided to try their hand at reprinting some of their older material, most of which I can't comment on. I've never seen any of it before, so I can't say whether it's good or bad or worth having or not. But this series here, Starblazer, let me get this, sorry, been a little askew. I mentioned Starblazer Volume 1. The writers, Grant Morrison, D. Broadbent, art by Mike McMahon, Enrique Alcatina. So, anyway, I had heard of this series before, that Morrison did something when he was very young on this. Never seen any of it. Don't know how much he did. So I can't recommend picking it up if you're a Morrison super fan, but I thought it was worth mentioning, that's for sure. Now we jump to our friends at Fantagraphics. Here's the big one. My favorite thing is Monsters Book 2, the long-awaited sequel by Emil Ferris. 412 pages, soft cover, full color. I have seen early looks at this book. Has some stunning art in it. I can't speak to anything else about it because I haven't read it yet, but not surprisingly, has some stunning pieces of art in there, and I'm looking forward to seeing what is what. This was interesting. The Complete Web of Horror by Bernie Wrightson, Michael Kaluta, Ralph Reese, et al. So this was conceived in 1969. The short-lived Web of Horror showcased horror and science fiction by then-new stars of comic art as Bernie Wrightson, Kaluta, Bruce Jones, Ralph Reese, Frank Brunner, Roger Brand, etc. This was 3 issues, and then they found some things that were unpublished and unearthed those and are including those. Anyway, pretty interesting. I was only vaguely aware this thing existed, and that was pretty recent. I might have just seen someone mention that this book was coming. So that's something I'll definitely be interested to check out. A new issue of Love and Rockets, always worth mentioning. A new edition of You and the Bike and the Road by Eleanor Davis, who is a wonderful cartoonist. This book was published by someone else. I can't quite remember who published it previously, but here's a new edition published by Fantagraphics. The Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers, The Seventh Voyage and Other Follies. So, I think this is the 4th entry in Fanta's collection of the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. Lots of really fun stuff in those. Cayman's Calamity and Other Stories, another EC collection. This one illustrated by Jack Kamen, written by various 27 Kamen stories. So amazing. Prince Valiant, Volume 28, 1991 and 1992. So they're really getting up there. I would have to imagine they're near the end of the series. Mythologies and Apocrypha, #1 by Tim Lane. Had no idea this was coming. This is from Fantagraphics Underground. This is just a 32-page comic. Tim Lane is spectacular, so I highly recommend him to anybody, and this would be a good place to start because it's only $6. And My Fairy Godfather by Robert Mailer Anderson and John Sack. I don't know who Robert Mailer Anderson is. John Sack drew a book that was also published by Fantagraphics, Window on the World, which I really enjoyed. And so I will be very interested in that, just on the strength of reading that previous book. From Floating World, they have the Black Phoenix Omnibus. This was done through one of the crowdfunders, Kickstarter or Indiegogo, I can't remember. I've been buying it in trade instead. This contains the complete Black Phoenix run from issues 1 through 10, covers and all. I have seen this book before. It's beautiful. I just didn't want to pay $100 for it, so I did not. Santo Sisters #6. People either seem to really enjoy those or really dislike them. I really enjoy them. I think they're fun. But I can definitely understand why they are not that appealing to some people. From Living the Line, Her Frankenstein by Norikazu Kawashima. And it's a horror comic. Dare to read the psycho horror classic that horror manga master Junji Ito called frightening but moving story about an unfortunate individual who, lost in search of his true self, finds his own annihilation instead. I don't know that that's going to sell you the book, but it sounds pretty interesting. Let's see what else we got here. 362. All right, from Oni. It occurred to me I said Oni earlier, and I think I meant Boom when I was talking about the Sons. No, I said In Perpetuity, and I said it was from Oni, but I think I might have been wrong. This is Oni. Dwellings, hardcover by Jay Stevens. Jay Stevens was an alternative cartoonist back in the, I think, early 90s. I don't think he was around in the 80s. This was put out in a series of little comics by Black Eye, a former alternative comics company from back in the late 80s, early 90s, that sort of reformed. And I think these were all crowdfunded. And now here it is in a big hardcover, 272 pages. Don't know the measurements, so I don't know if they're going to be a larger size than the individual issues. The individual issues were sort of manga-sized. I haven't read these. A lot of people have raved about them, say they're great, really fun, really great horror, despite the kind of cartoon art style. So it is on my radar. I picked up some of the issues when I was at TCAF last year and have not gotten to them yet, but I am looking forward to checking them out. I'll mention this because I mentioned it last month. Penthouse Comics, number 2. None of the names really stand out to me except for Guillaume March. So I don't have number 1 yet, so I can't recommend buying number 2. But I thought I would mention it. I'd be curious to see how long this thing lasts and if it is any good or not. I am skeptical, but as with all things, I try to keep an open mind. From Rebellion, 2000 AD, couple of interesting things here. Joe Pineapple's Tin Man. This is a spin-off from ABC Warriors, written by Pat Mills, drawn by Simon Bisley, which is kind of the reason I'm mentioning it. A lot of people love Bisley, especially if you're my age. I don't know that I'm as big on him as some are, but I certainly was when I was 14. This really stood out to me, though. 40 Years of Scream Archival Collection hardcover. It's 464 pages, 8x11 hardcover. Pretty pricey, $61.99 for the standard edition. You can also get a slipcase edition for $92.99. The real reason to mention this, though, is some art by Cam Kennedy and various, the late Cam Kennedy, but even more intriguing, writer Alan Moore in various. I don't know how much Alan Moore is in this, but that right away made me take notice. Also, John Wagner, Jose Ortiz, Tom Tully, Alan Grant. So, some British stalwarts there, all of whom are worth checking out, of course, but Alan Moore is what made my eyes pop out. All right. From Schocken Books, Victory Parade by Leila Corman. Hardcover, odd size, 10x11. So that's kind of a strange size. 176 pages. I just read a book by Leila Corman recently. She's sitting right here in front of me. You Are Not a Guest, which I thought was okay. Not fantastic, but okay. Wonderful watercolor art in there. But I'm definitely interested. I've been reading Leila Corman for I think, 25 years. So this one will probably be one that I will pick up. Silver Sprocket. A new edition of When I Arrived at the Castle. I'm not sure who originally published this. Oh, Koyama Press. It even says in there. So this was published by Koyama Press. You know, people really love Emily Carroll's work. I like it. And it's nice to see there's a new edition. So I just thought I'd point that out. Also here, I just recently read one of these Everything Sucks comics. This one, Friends Forever. And it has Friends Forever along with a new one. 5 of them total. So I really enjoyed this issue, though. And I will probably give at least one more of these a shot and see what I think. Michael Sweater, pretty fun cartoonist. Really nice style. Really fun to read. This next one I'll consider a public service announcement from W.W. Norton, Creator Spotlight, Will Eisner. And it's pretty much, I think, everything available by Will Eisner is listed. Which is kind of more than I thought was currently available. So it's, you know, 2.5 pages here in the catalog. Quite a few titles. Will Eisner is a person that, this is all his later work, not his spirit work. I'm of the opinion his later work is, you know, not great, frankly. But I do like some, I mean, I like A Contract with God. I like The Name of the Game, A Family Matter, The Dreamer, Life on Another Planet, I think is a pretty fun book. So, anyway, The Heart of the Storm is also a pretty good book. So, anyway, if you're familiar with Eisner, here you go. There's more available. If you're not familiar with Eisner, start with A Contract with God and see what you think. Only one thing in the manga section popped out to me. And I have no idea if it's good, bad, or whatever. Oh, shit. Sorry about that. The Fable Omnibus, Volume 1, by Katsuhisa Minami. 416 pages. Soft cover. Hitman here with a silencer and a bird on his head. So anyway, don't know if that's any good. I've never heard of this series. So, but it was the only thing that popped out to me as a possibility. So I thought I'd mention it. Okay, thank you for watching. If you have any thoughts, concerns, complaints, things I missed, please let me know. Sorry about the camera tilting and being odd at weird times. That's totally my fault. So, otherwise, leave me a comment. Let me know if you think I missed anything or like something I showed. Otherwise, I'll see you later.